that he was not the only person who was targeted within his company. The cast of the play Sekunjalo were arrested in 1987 while they were touring in Potchefstroom. Here I just want to highlight the grand dames, Mary Twala, Zakiti Dlamini, Susan Teletsane, Tony Parla. They were the core of actors that kept Kente's plays so entertaining. There were sad moments as well, as we've heard today, but they were also riotously funny and humane and full of life. The title of the play, How Long, was asking the question, how long must we suffer under the cruel system of apartheid? The answer it gave was that black people need to collectively resist as the apartheid government has stolen their human rights. For me, the play also demonstrates how the arts can be part of a social conversation. For example, Maisha Maponya and Sibongile Khumalo, who were not in Kente's company, had fond memories remembering how people in the township would be singing words from the play. In this way, How Long galvanized people to act as a united force, opposing racial, economic, and social injustice. The play, of course, did not only speak to black people, but directly addressed the apartheid government. The authorities heard the message of defiance and it was banned. It is important to note that it was not only banned because of its anti-apartheid message, but it was banned because How Long showed that theatre has a power to move people emotionally and to unite them in a common cause. This tradition that Kente has bequeathed to all South African theatre makers, whether they are black or white, whether they have grown up in Soweto or Sandton, or whether they have trained at the Soweto Theatre of its university. I can also point out that Kente consistently, over a long period of time, found practical ways of expressing his commitment to community development. Specifically, as the school year began in 1988, he donated money from the performances of We Mame. The Sowetan reported that he donated 200 rand, that was a lot of money in those days, to the Orlando High School Trust Fund, which had been established to build damaged buildings of the school. Kente's fundraising project began in Soweto, but soon spread to other townships where his plays were touring. He also funded scholars and university students. His belief in the value of education was one of the reasons why he was opposed to the destruction of schools as a form of anti-apartheid protest. We flocked to see his plays to the extent that there would be full houses and people would be turned away at some performances. Despite the politically motivated violence, general crime, limited transport, especially at night, audiences attended theatre in the evenings. In fact, in the Sowetan of February 1985, there's a headline titled, Bragib Causes a Stampede. This, of course, does not mean that he was, encouraging audiences to riot, but that the play titled She Fears the Night was so popular that A2 Cinema was full to the brim. Some people were even camping out in the foyer of the theatre because they wanted to see the play so badly. If you recall, Kente anticipated the uprisings of 1976 with How Long? In this way, Kente's plays demonstrates that it is important for artists to stick to their unique artistic vision. And I think this is a lesson that South African playwrights, directors, and actors have embraced. A few months ago, I watched the staging of Zakes and Dars, We Shall Sing for the Fatherland in this stage. It was quite a brave and striking performance by the actors and the director. We as the audience could see, in the updated version of the play, the fearless articulation of our challenges in South Africa today. Indeed, young playwrights and actors are claiming the freedom that democracy has brought us in South Africa. They're not afraid to speak the truth as they see it. This is, of course, in sharp contrast to the world in which Gibson Kente lived. In his lifetime, Kente performed his plays in community halls in South Africa and towards Southern Africa. But he managed to build a network of contacts in the township. This means that there would be a contact person in most places that would assist with the logistics of accommodation, putting up banners and booking venues. Some of these women were teachers and nurses. For example, the late Mewing Idireko was one such contact. But for the most part, Mr. Tumakuta Mnembe used to travel ahead of the theatre company to make preparation. So, it would be good to further invest in the infrastructure for the arts in Soweto. So why don't we launch the first ever South African theatre museum in Soweto? It will celebrate the rich history of Soweto artists, as well as other South African playwrights, actors and directors. In this way, then, we can think about developing a heritage route from Soweto Theatre to Gibson Kente's house, to AAT Cinema, to the DOCC, and perhaps even to Funda Center. Let us then celebrate theatre, because it holds our memories that we can shape into stories about our past. But most importantly, theatre holds memories that we can shape into stories about the future we envision, right, for generations to come. I thank you.